Welcome everyone. You know the breaking news. There is one. हिंदी में कहते हैं ना कि एक चोर ने बस चोर नहीं, a mastermind. The name is Doc Rivers. हाँ, time
You know
flies.
what time it is? It's sacking time.
We have a new coach.
Yeah, we have a new coach. We have a new. That was Giannis is shouting. Giannis might be shouting right now. We have a new coach. We have a new identity. We have new everything. But Giannis, bro, you have signed a choker. I'm sorry for that. But it's a sad day for Griffin, but a very happy day for Doc Rivers. And welcome everyone. I'm Harry. We have Delvin and Aniket from India and Singapore, and we three idiots are talking about NBA right now. The floor is yours. The floor is yours, guys. The floor is yours.
I mean, see on paper when you look at it and you see the record of the Bucks, it's 30-13. They have the second best record in the NBA. But I think the issues run much more than that. And there are a myriad of issues why Griffin was shown the door the way he was. And one of the biggest reasons is that he wasn't able to command the respect of the dressing room, the locker room in perhaps, and when you cannot see eye to eye with your franchise player, and the NBA currently is at that stage where player power is everything, and if your friend if your franchise cornerstone isn't seeing eye to eye with you, then you should pretty much know the writing is on the wall. The funny thing, actually, despite all this, it should be noted that Griffin was actually Giannis's man. Giannis wanted him as part of the job. So initially, Milwaukee were in talks with Nick Nurse, but Giannis said no to it, and they gave Griffin the job. And we all see what the difference is. Nick Nurse is doing a fantastic job in Philly at this point. He's got them to play with an identity, with the sense of purpose, and none so emanating from Joel Embiid, who is their franchise player at this point in time. So you can see the transformation that Nurse has done throughout the course of his time in Philly so far. The same cannot be said of Griffin. I'll give you a very funny stat. Up until the Milwaukee job where Griffin got, Griffin interviewed for head coach 14 times. He didn't get even a single head coaching gig. 14 interviews rejected and all. And Milwaukee decided to give him a job. I think the red flags were there, just right there. And the fact that you ignored such a big red flag just because it didn't sit right. But so Milwaukee have gone for process over results because the results are there. It's just that they don't want, because Milwaukee have been what, their identity has been one of the best defenses when Coach Bud was head coach for them. They were always in the top 10 of defensive ratings in and around the NBA in the past 3-4 seasons when Bud was coach. Uh, they were 22nd up until Christmas in defensive
Right,
rating. Post
right,
Christmas, they were 27.
right.
Cavs put 135 on them. Jazz put 140 on them. I think another team, and even the fucking Pistons went ahead
Pistons gave
and
a
put
good
it.
fight, yeah.
Yeah, of course, they were almost outgunned by the Pistons out of all the teams.
Right,
So, and even, yeah, the other team was Indy. Indy scored around what, 140, 142. So that is not the hallmark of a good defensive side.
right,
So there are problems right there. The only reason why they're so high is because offensive masterclasses, and that is also not frequent.
right.
So I think the Bucks have made a right call by firing Adrian Griffin. I'm not exactly sure whether they've made the right call by appointing Doc Rivers. So
You
that
know,
is that is my brief of the gist so far.
Now, I'll just add one more thing to the point, like you said. Apart from his a very novice style of coaching and all that stuff, like he wasn't able to implement his style first of all. The problem which he had with the players, and when the dressing room becomes a little bit toxic. There is only one man who will always get the firing. It has to always be the coach, be it any
Yep.
sport, be it any team sport. You
Yes,
take it
exactly.
football, you take it baseball, you take it cricket or any sort of thing. In cricket, you might change a captain, but again, the coach has to go. So the coach has to take that bait, and I guess signing Damian Lillard actually, you know, uh, shifted the balance that Milwaukee had in the previous season. So, they should understand that it always takes time. When you have a new coach, you have a new player like Dame, who's trying to fit himself with Giannis, and Giannis trying to fit with Dame. So, it has to work both ways, but it could not. So, yeah, can't blame the management, because coach is the only person who will get fired at this
Yeah.
point of time. They can't trade the players.
It's interesting that you mentioned Dame, because earlier in the season, Terry Stotts, who's Portland head coach when Lillard was
Of
there,
course,
Terry Stotts was
of course.
Yeah.
assistant coach,
Yes.
and the only reason why he was appointed assistant coach is because of his close relationship with Dame.
Right.
The problem was here is that Griffin didn't want anything to do with Stotts, and they weren't able to see eye to eye, and that
Gone.
led to
Gone.
Stotts resigning before the season even begins. So there was your
Exactly.
big problem. You have two
So,
stars. You managed to alienate one of them before a ball was even tossed up for tip off.
right.
So there's your red flag just before the season starting.
Right.
Yeah.
Aniket, what are your thoughts on this?
I think both of y'all have got a lot of points, which I also had on my mind. So I won't add, you know, a lot more to that. But I think Terry Stotts, leaving was an important kind of a red flag in that organization because he was just brought in, and within a month or so, he's like, I'm out of here. So obviously there was
Right.
some disagreement there with Adrian Griffin initially, and then throughout the season, you see Giannis's attitude, being very indifferent towards the coach. You see a lot of clips going viral of him, putting himself back into the game when he just got subbed. Some disagreements on the sideline, and like just that hints you got like in December, especially when the rumors started coming out that Adrian Griffin's job might not be, you know, secure. So I think we got a lot of hints, although none of us expected it to happen this soon. Like,
Exactly.
30 and 13, it's not like they have a losing record or something. They're like way above
Yeah.
500. So,
Yeah.
so the Bucks organization kind of decided that okay, this is not going to work anymore despite having such a good record. So that's like kudos to the Bucks. Firstly, they decided early and they decided well in advance of anything happening in the postseason. So
Right.
at least they made that clear. And then in terms of Doc Rivers hiring, I think he was the best coach I would say available on the market right now. So they had to go with the guy who was just commentating a week back, coming out of the commentary booth and going straight into the head coaching job now. So that is there. Obviously, we're all going to make fun of Doc Rivers' playoff choking attitude, but
Right.
I think at this point he's the right hire for them because of his experience and his handling of star players. He's worked with so many stars in his time coaching. He might not be a good playoff coach, but at least a regular season coach is
Yeah.
something which he's good at. So he's gonna take this ship through to the playoffs, and then we'll see how it happens in the playoffs because we know he has a history of choking. So if we'll see if Giannis, if he brings the best out of Giannis and Dame in the playoffs and gets them to the finals, or you
Right.
know, he chokes again. But it's important to note that the Bucks have been consulting with Doc Rivers since December. I think
For the past
this was a
month, for the
report by
past
Yeah.
yes, for the past
yeah
month,
by Sham.
the
So
Athletic, but
it's
yeah.
kind of crazy that the Bucks, who actually had an active head coach, were consulting with Doc Rivers, who was commentating since December. So that's crazy to me. I mean, basically
Re-
they wanted him since December itself.
He was basically
Remind.
like a mentor for Griffin throughout this
Yeah.
entire month,
uh,
basically,
So
more often.
yeah.
imagine him advising Griffin on all the wrong offensive plays, and now
3D
and now
3D chess.
basically he's getting
3D
the
chess.
job.
3D
Yeah,
chess. 3D
and
chess.
also there have been big murmurs of players in the locker room
Yeah, Bobby
undermining the coach's
Portis and all.
authority. Bobby
Bobby
Portis, yes,
Portis
Bobby
and
Portis.
yeah.
In fact, Giannis was doing play calls in timeouts over the
Right.
coach. So
Right.
that's how shitty the situation became. And at this point, then you need to understand that it's pretty
Yeah. Yeah.
your position as head coach is pretty
Uh, uh,
untenable when players are doing your job that you're
yeah.
supposed to do.
That's why I said, yeah. Whenever there's a toxic dressing room, the coach has to go, because
Yeah,
it's not always the coach, but this time the coach has 90% of the time it's the coach who has to be
Yeah.
the slack and has to be thrown out of the team, and that's what happened with this guy. So we just
I want to
can
make one
hope.
more point.
Ah,
Like people
right,
say,
sure, sure.
LeBron is a coach killer. So what will
Hmm.
you say about Giannis because he's got two coaches fired in 2 years?
And they're still paying,
And
and they're still They'll be paying three
one
coaches
one
salary.
one of those coaches
Yeah,
was the one he
exactly.
wanted in the first place.
Yeah, he
Adrian
wanted.
Griffin was the one he wanted in the first place. So that's
And then the
funny.
other guy was
That's funny.
fired after winning a championship, the season after winning a championship. So yeah.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. And see, thing is, sometimes the players want more from the coaches, but they don't understand they themselves have to do more. Players might just call in how to play, but it is you who has to put in all the efforts and to show that yes, we are doing all that stuff. But right, like Delvin said, the
Hmm.
NBA or any sport has actually become more of a player power than the coach power right now. So it has to be what the players say, and the organization has to listen to the star players. And of course,
Yeah.
wherever Giannis move, it has to be like whatever Giannis says, you have to do it, because it's very easy nowadays for a player to to change a team. He says next season to the Bucks, I don't want to stay anymore, and now Bucks has to find a suitor who might want Giannis, and
Hmm.
what will they get? Peanuts, even though they are paying so much to Giannis. So that's always
Yeah.
the issue with the teams. So I guess we have covered a lot regarding this. There's one thing. Do you guys feel like, I mean, adding Doc Rivers? Of course, he is very seasoned
Hmm.
coach. He has won a championship with the Celtics. He has also won an Eastern Conference title. So, do you guys think that he might be the guy who would take Bucks to the NBA Finals? I'm not talking about the Eastern Conference Finals, but to the NBA Finals.
I mean, it doesn't make sense for me. You fired Budden also for the same reason that you weren't able to get playoff success, and you're
Right.
hiring a coach like Doc who has, I think, a worse record than Bud in playoffs. I think so. I don't understand the appointment. I mean, of course, that the paucity of options in the coaching market might have led to the Bucks making that decision in the first place. But then, arguably one of your most successful coaches, you had an identity with Bud when you were playing.
Hmm.
Right.
Defensively resolute. Then you had the likes of Giannis, Drew, Middleton, all of these guys. You need to understand that more often than not, Bud did not have Chris Middleton at full health throughout the course of his tenure. The only time Middleton was healthy, they ended up winning the ring that particular season. So people need to understand that also. So I don't understand the Doc appointment. I get it that there were not many options there, but then if you're firing a previous head coach for similar reasons, that is lack of playoff success, appointing a one who has similar or even a lesser successful record in the playoffs is something that will definitely raise eyebrows. But I think they're gambling on the fact that Doc commands a lot of respect, and like I think Harry said, he has an experience of working with some of the top stars of the games ever since he's been head coach. So
Right.
maybe that the Bucks front office and Giannis in particular must be hoping that they don't bottle a 3-1 3-1 lead, or
Yeah,
else or else
yeah.
that
Just to put out that fact, I just found out the fact there are 13 instances in NBA that a playoff team as leading 3-1 and have lost the game, and Doc Rivers has
Doc
been
has
part of
For the
three
series.
three
instances,
three
three.
Yeah.
So
instances,
that is most for a coach, and
and with
Doc Rivers
three
has missed
different
that.
teams, three
Yeah.
different
Exactly.
teams.
Magic, Clippers, and I think it's Philly. I don't remember.
Philly
I don't
only. I
know.
don't think he did it with Boston. No, it has to be
No, 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 no.
Clippers.
Not with
No, no. He
Boston.
said
No.
he said Magic, Philly, and
Clippers.
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 Clippers twice, I think. Clippers twice.
Oh
So
yeah,
it won't be
Clippers
with the
twice.
Magic.
Correct. Clippers
Not
twice.
Magic. Doc wasn't Magic coach.
He was. He
Doc wasn't
was.
Magic.
He was the Magic coach
He
when
was, he
Tracy
was, he
McGrady
was,
was there.
But I
he
don't
was, he
think they
was.
bottled a 3-1
They did. They
Magic.
did. That was the first one he bottled.
I thought he did it
Two,
twice with the Clippers.
twice with
Who
the
was the
Clippers and once with the Magic. And not with Phillies. Twice with Clippers, once with Magic. So yeah.
Huh, yeah, that could be it. Yeah, that could be it.
Also, when you are almost towards the business end of the season, right? It's
Hmm.
just like what, 2 months remaining, and the games are like
I mean the
alternate
regular
days you're
season,
playing.
yeah, April till
Yeah.
April.
Exactly. Just 2 months are remaining, and it's now is the time the teams have to really go on a streak and be
Yeah.
consistent enough. And you need an experienced person who can actually get the scattered dressing room together. And
Hmm.
also, there is one thing that Bucks might be trying, that if somehow they again bottle either the Eastern Conference Championship or the NBA Finals, Doc might have that player pull. I don't know. He might, because he still has good relations with a lot of players. So he might try to bring in stars and make this Bucks team full of star players. So who knows what happens postseason and
Here,
all that stuff.
I
here's the
think Doc
problem.
is
Yeah,
Doc
go
is
on, go on,
getting
go
a
on,
long
Aniket.
term. Yes, just one point. Doc is getting a long term contract, so whatever happens this season, his job is is going to be safe regardless. He's
That's
going to
fine.
get another season at minimum. So
That's
whether he's out in the first round, second round, or whatever, he goes to the finals and loses, he's there for next season as well. So
yeah.
I mean, Giannis has made his decision. So
Here's the point now I was trying to make. So I think the last time that a team made a change that were doing so good were the Cavs, where we were 30-11, and
yeah,
then
David Blatt.
David Blatt was fired, and then we got in Ty Lue. But here's the difference, though. The difference was that the Cavaliers already had a stacked roster that season,
Right.
as in we had all bases covered.
Right.
The problem with the Bucks is they have
They don't
two
have.
roster spots that are occupied by Thanasis and Robin Lopez. Here's
Yeah,
the problem: they both are not contributing anything
Thanasis is cheerleader.
yeah. So
Cheerleader, and he
even
washes Giannis's pants
Nepotism.
probably.
yeah,
Nepotism.
so
Nepotism.
anything. So if that already puts the Bucks at a handicap in the sense that they have no spots for roster building, even
Right.
if they want to get
Because
in
you can't
someone.
cut Thanasis, and I don't think you can cut Robin Lopez because his brother's also there. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the problem there. You severely impaired yourself with this. So
I
you
think
you are
Griffin got
not
fired probably because he insulted Thanasis.
maybe was trying to cut Thanasis off. That's the consensus there.
Oh, I have. I'm just trying to make it a little bit funny. Why not Doc Rivers brings his son to play basketball
You,
in this team?
I don't think he's in the NBA. No, I don't think
Austin
he's in the
Rivers.
NBA,
I
right?
mean,
Austin
he's not
Rivers.
playing right now, but he can come back. He was
Exactly.
auditioning for a spot few
Where's
months back.
where's the roster
Nepotism.
spot? Bucks don't have a roster spot
Yeah,
available.
go ahead, Delvin.
They,
You're making
they,
a point.
they, they will make it somehow to have that nepotism spot filled up, bro.
No, I don't. Who are they going to cut though? Who are they going to cut?
They'll probably
That's
cut like some Chris Middleton before Thanasis at this point.
Thanasis can't even shoot a
uh,
layup for fuck's sake, man. He's so painful to watch. He's
He's
so painful
cheerleader.
to
That's his job.
watch.
He
He
he.
gets
uh,
he gets minutes. He gets minutes. He gets minutes.
And he
yeah,
starts getting
because
hyped up when he scores and the Bucks are down like 25 points.
that's with all the players. That's with all the players. Even if I
That
would make a layup, I would make a
that
layup or I have a
it
poster
reminds
and then I'll also run fast and I'll have that camera zoomed into
it
me.
reminds me of Drummond shushing the crowd after making two free throws when Detroit is 35 points
Yeah.
down.
Oh man, this is turning out to be a Thanasis roast session.
And
And
it rightly should. It rightly should.
and we guys had promised that we would do it for Harden, and we haven't been able to do even one.
Dude doesn't get a place to play in the Greek national team but gets minutes for fun in Bucks.
Yeah.
That's the
Because मेरा भाई यानिस है, मैं कुछ भी
हाँ,
करेगा.
तू जानता है मेरा भाई कौन है?
Bro, the date Thanasis is out of the NBA, I don't know like what Giannis is gonna feel on that day.
मैं यहाँ का
He'll
भाई
retire. He'll retire Thanasis's jersey in the family room.
Yeah.
Or
Imagine Thanasis jersey getting retired by the Bucks.
there is that meme with Om Prakash na cheating करता है तू, तो he would do this to the Bucks team, cheating करता है तू. When they finally decide to throw Thanasis out of the team.
They should have kept Kostas instead of Thanasis. At least Kostas can ball. At least Kostas is a better
Yes,
player
okay.
than
I mean,
Thanasis.
none of them can play. I don't know why none of them can play and only Giannis can play. It's so weird.
He got all of their qualities in one, dude. So he's
Favorite.
3 in 1.
Favorite brother, na Giannis ka
And
favorite brother.
he's the oldest also, no? Giannis is the oldest
Yeah.
also, no?
Yes.
Yeah,
No,
obviously.
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe.
He is.
So he ate both of their foods. He ate both of their plates also while they were kids and all. बच्चे थे तब उनके प्लेट से भी खाना मार लेता था तो उनका टैलेंट भी ले लिया तो makes sense.
The monsters.
Yeah, he is a monster among all the three of them.
Man,
So,
this is not
let's-
turning
let's-
out to be
so,
Antetokounmpo
do you think-
family roast, man.
Do you think with Doc coming in, do Bucks still keep hold of their top 3 place, or is there any potential of seeing them sneak down the table in the East.
They
No,
they might they might
no.
sneak
I
out.
think they'll keep the top three seed because they're like. I don't think they're going to lose many games. I mean, in the Eastern Conference is not that competitive at this point. Obviously, Miami we know is going to be good in the playoffs. Cleveland might
Right.
make some noise this time.
Yep.
So they might
And
be a
they
top three
deserve
seed,
to. They deserve
but
to.
playoffs is like all about how Doc coaches. So yeah,
Right.
Which is not exactly good.
which is
So yeah,
not like exactly favorable to his team. So yeah,
at
Yeah.
this point,
So.
Doc is a better podcaster than a coach. Let's be
yeah.
honest here.
I
Yeah,
actually loved him on commentary.
Dog gave us a chance to, show the world how good we three are. So he sacrificed his podcasting skills to just tell Giannis that you are shite at Bucks, you should go to Lakers
Doc
now. It's high time.
Doc
Yeah,
Lakers
Rivers.
I hope
need
he does that.
Lakers need a new king now, a new superstar. So
I don't
just
mind the
They
move
Greek
to
king
they
to replace
they
the
want to
American
feel
king.
they want to feel what it's like to play with an Antetokounmpo who's not shit.
Yeah, I mean Costas was on the Lakers. I mean, you know the reason why we kept him, right? To try to lure Giannis to the Lakers. And once
this
Giannis
this
signed that big contract, we cut Costas immediately.
this
Thanks for your
this
service. Thanks for nothing. You fuck off.
this this reel needs to be captioned, Art and Takumpo family roast. Anyway,
Yeah.
I guess, like, Delvin has asked us a very a good question, like, what do you think what is going to happen in the Bucks? But Delvin, what do you personally feel like? Is addition of dog really going to help them or not?
It depends on how he manages to get the best out of Giannis and Dame. So for all the
Right,
success that they've still had, despite all the dysfunction that is going around them,
right,
that is only the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more that any head coach coming in can do with this combo. Because the myriad of ways that these two can destroy opposition defenses is insane. And
right,
also the fact that Dame in Milwaukee still hasn't, tapped into the half court threat that he is. Like
right,
he's an even bigger threat from half court than he's currently portraying to be.
right.
If somehow Doc manages to tap into that and gets Dame shooting more from the outside, from the half court, from the logo, and then he manages to get the best out of Giannis, the Giannis Dame pick and roll. These Bucks could be very very dangerous, but at the same time there is a flip side because there is a lot of work that needs to be done in defense. And
Right.
at this point, the only players who are actually showing a semblance of competency as far as the defensive point is concerned is they are their rookies. Uh, Jackson,
Ma-
Beauchamp,
M-
Livingston, all these
Marshawn
guys.
Beauchamp.
Yeah, all these guys. These are the guys who are
Yeah.
actually
And
giving them good
yeah.
minutes on
Andre
defense.
Jackson.
Right.
Yeah. And Chris Livingston or something, I don't know what's his name, but yeah, that's the other guy who's giving them good minutes. So as far as a defense, yeah, Christian Braun also is there. So all these guys are
No,
actually
Christian Brown
providing.
is in Denver.
Wait,
Christian Brown is in Denver. That's Jordan Noara in Bucks.
there was another
But yeah,
guy,
I
some
mean,
Livingston. I don't know what's his name. Chris Livingston or something like that.
Lyndon Wigginton.
oh, Lyndon Wigginton. Okay, is it him?
Yeah, that's his name.
Okay, I mean, but we get the point, right? I mean, they're still not
Yeah.
performing to their
Yeah,
They
defensive
are. They
capabilities.
are. They are.
So
nowhere close to being
yeah,
defensively solid, and they're still some way off of being offensively sorted, despite there being the second best offense in the league. So still a
Yeah.
lot. For all the talk that is there, Doc still has a lot on his plate. Let's see how he
Right.
manages to get it done. But uh, yeah, I
The
still think
the one point
they'll
the
hold
one
top
point
three seed. They'll hold
the
a top
one
three seed.
point that we all missed, the one point that we all missed while talking about the defense is they removed their best defensive rated player from the team and could not replace him.
You cannot
Drew
replace
Holiday.
Drew. Drew is
Oh, come
someone you
on.
cannot. Yeah,
That's where you lose. You have that spot.
yeah.
They have the spot you need to cover up. At least have a player who can do half of that shit, but you don't. You sign in another offensive player, Damian Lillard. I mean,
Who's a
what
defensive
the hell?
yeah.
liability? Who's a defensive
Exactly,
liability?
exactly. So this is how the think tank needs to work on the next season, because more or less I feel Bucks are not gonna win anything. It's all come down to the individual brilliances on that particular day that Giannis and Dame might have to pull.
Yeah,
I
so
have to
they've
pull out.
basically,
Yeah,
so they basically sold their souls
exactly.
and gone all in on the Giannis Dame combo.
which is
If they
which
do
is
not,
what anyone would do, right? I mean, anyone would trade for
yeah,
Dame.
No,
yeah, but
So
no,
if you're
no.
not able to get the best out of both of them,
Exactly.
despite
yeah,
putting your immediate future on the line, then that's a problem. And you will potentially risk Giannis go for nothing, and
yeah,
then
Correct.
you'll have to deal with with one of the most overpaid contracts, because Dame is going to be at that stage of his
yeah.
career where he'll
Sixty,
obviously look
65
out for
million.
himself
Yeah,
at age 36, where
correct.
you'll definitely bet your mortgage that he's not going to be the same threat that he is now.
Exactly. Exactly.
And so then how are you going to get that rid of? So there are huge problems for the Bucks if they do not get anything in this immediate future. They will have to win a ring this season or the next, or it's not looking good for them. It genuinely
Exactly.
isn't.
Exactly. Exactly. Even the role players have regressed a lot. So, the team as a whole has started dysfunctioning, and they really need a very quick fix to it, or else it is gonna turn into a very bad situation for the Bucks front office. And like Devlin
They
said,
need a
they might lose.
leader. They
They
need a
might lose
leader.
everyone. They might lose everyone, and they might lose their identity as a team. As a team which was taken seriously after Giannis, but now they won't be for years to come if they fumble upon this point.
They need a leader, and I think what the Bucks have gambled on is Doc being
Yeah,
the one who can
dog
lead
being the
them.
leader.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's see how that works. But I don't think the Bucks have Doc was a good appointment for me. I might be proved
Anyway,
wrong, and if I do get proved wrong, I'll openly admit my words here. But yeah, I don't think that it's the right appointment for them.
right. Okay, guys, that's it from on the Bucks, news and signing of Doc Rivers. Do let us know in the comment section. Do you think Doc Rivers was the right choice, or they could have gone for some other man? And do you guys really feel? Do you guys really feel that Doc Rivers might actually give Giannis another ring? Might help him win another ring, or is it gonna be one of those chokers who will again add another, you know, stat to his name that I have choked another playoff and another ring. So do let us know, and that's on this side from everybody.